Hello everyone, my name is Teacher Lena and welcome to my channel. I am an ESL online teacher and my channel is all about my experiences as a teacher online. So if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. I put out videos each week and sometimes more than one. So come back for more. But in this video, I wanted to talk about how can you juggle working with multiple companies and putting your schedule together. What does that look like? So let's talk about it. So I often get this question because, I've helped many people or I've provided information for many people about the companies that I work for. And as they're going through the process and trying to get established, the question often comes up, how do I put my schedule together? And that is very tricky. It took me a little bit of, experimenting to try to figure it out, and it will take many of you, I'm sure many of you have done the same thing, but I'll just tell you the methods that I've done over a period of time, and hopefully it'll save you some time and some headache. So, why, before I get into it, why do I do this? Why do I juggle with so many companies? Well, it would be lovely if I could just have one company that just gives me all the time in classes that I need to work. But that's not my case. Some teachers have been very fortunate to do that, and that is wonderful. If you can, it would, prevent a lot of headache. But, but at the same time, if you're teaching with the same company, it kind of sometimes gets a little bit repetitive. So it's nice to have something fresh and new. So, working for another company kind of freshens things up and keeps things a little exciting for you. That's one reason. And also the fact that, sometimes the company's just, like I said before, they're not necessarily giving you all the bookings that you need. Or they might stop all of a sudden. And then it's like, what do you do? If you have nothing to fall back on, what do you do? So it's nice to have a fallback company that's active, that you could just, start teaching with in a short period of time, so that you can, not have a break in your income, and that you can keep everything moving, forward. We have to keep, watch over our bank accounts and our budgets. So, we have to have backups. And, as the saying goes, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. It's very helpful, bit of wisdom in this industry. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because it might, cause problems for you down the road. And especially with these companies going through a lot of changes, everything is kind of just unstable. So stabilize yourself with multiple companies. So let's talk about what that schedule could look like. So I've kind of come up with 3 different methods that could possibly work for you. And so I'll get into each one. The first one is, I don't really have a name for them, but the first one is just, giving each company their own day. Okay, so if you have maybe 2 companies you work for, you just want to obviously, open up with one company on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then the other company on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, something like that. This is just a way to kind of ease your mind and make sure, help to prevent a lot of the double bookings, but it also allows you to be active with 2 companies and have regulars. And if one company, for whatever reason, has some problems, you can open up bookings with another company, or provide another schedule. Depends on what the company does. But, that just gives you a chance to be active with both companies, and hopefully they're paying, similarly, because if one company is not paying as much as the other, well, then you might have to do a different method. But, this is just one way to do it. Just give every company their own day, nice and simple, very little to think about. Monday, I need to be here. Tuesday, I need to be here. So that's the first way. And then there's the second way, which is giving each, or having a primary company. And that means you give that primary company your whole schedule, right? Like you open up with them and you give them all of your availability. And then after they have, filled in your schedule, whatever sections or times that are available still, you can open up with your second company. So this is just if you have, mostly if you have two companies that you just want to work with. So you establish one as your primary company, and then the secondary one you just kind of fill in. It's your filler company. Now it might be a little bit difficult to use that secondary company if it's not somewhat active, if you don't have some regulars, especially for the companies where the parents will book you. You know, if you haven't built up regulars, then it's kind of hard to open up your schedule and just expect for classes to be filled in. It takes a little bit of time. But if a company will book for you, then, you know, it'll be less difficult for that to happen. But yeah, you have your primary company, give them all of your availability, and then you fill in with your secondary company. So that works best with two companies. But the third method is what I'm doing. And yeah, this is the third method. And let me just go back a little bit. With the first method, if you open up, you know, with every company getting their own day, you can also do it. Like if you teach outside of the peak times, you can also open up, you know, earlier with one company and later in the day with another company. So that could be your way of kind of like assigning every company a different time on your schedule. So it's very clear and it doesn't, you know, overlap, and it minimizes a lot of the overbookings or forgetting where, you know, you have a class and you need to get over there. So yeah, that's just want to add that in before I get into the third method. The third method, which is what I do, is having a primary company, and then you still have, after that primary company fills in, well then you have each company after that having a secondary, or having their own allotted time. Okay, so like for example, I have a company that I work for that has bookings that extend for a long period of time. They're repeat classes. So these classes could, with the same students, can continue for, you know, a month, 2 months. So that is kind of like a set schedule. And then after that, if all of those slots do not get booked, then I have a day for each of my other companies, so that, you know, I can provide times for them too, and keep with some of my regulars if I can, if that first primary company does not fill up my whole schedule. Okay, so then I assign a day for those secondary companies to fill in. Now, if all of that doesn't fill up my schedule, well then I can then, and this is the tricky part that really, you know, unless you're really on top of your schedule, you got to be careful with, then you can fill in with other companies, you know, for the holes that still might not have gotten filled in. You know, for short, you can use your short notice features with companies. Some of these companies have short notice bookings, so that you can, you know, open up within 24 hours and still fill a class, or, you know, if it's using a standby class in another company. I work for Magic Ears, and you can apply for a standby class within 24 hours, or, you know, VIPKids and Gogokids have the short notice bookings. So if I still have holes in my schedule, I can open up a short notice booking and still possibly get that class time filled in too. So how does this all stay straight in my mind? You need to write it down. You do. So what I have developed for myself is this. The lighting is bad, sorry. But this is my schedule. I write everything down on here so that I can see it all. And this also allows me to like keep track of, you know, over a period of time, like, you know, how many classes I've taught with this company, that company. You know, I can see everything on this. So I write it all down, so nothing overlaps and I don't get double booked, and this helps me to have a visual. You know, there's more than one way to do it. You could do it on your computer, but I just like to have it so I can physically write it all down and see and plan that way. So I will make or have a link for anybody who wants to use something like this. I will have a link for it in my description box down below, and it's also at my website, TeacherLena.com. If anybody would like to go there and check out my website, you can find this resource, and I'll be adding other resources to it as well. So let me know, and well, just use the link if you visit there. So that's how I keep it all together in my mind when you work for these multiple companies, and then the night before you just have to kind of go through, like, what am I actually doing for tomorrow? I'm sure all of you all, especially if you're a parent, you have to do that. You have to be on top of what is coming next. But even when you do sit down and try to do it, you still sometimes get a little anxious about, what am I supposed to be doing next? Where am I supposed to be? Well, if you have a set schedule, then it kind of becomes more automatic, and that's why I like it. Like, I know, 3:00 a.m. for me, I need to be, teaching with Gogokid, and then, then my class starts with Qkid at 5:30 for me. So then I could switch on a Tuesday. So that's kind of, it provides me, so I'm not always looking at this all the time, like, okay, what am I supposed to do next? Then I feel anxious because I don't want to miss something. But if I have more of a routine, it helps me relax a little bit. And, and then after I know my routine, if something changes, if I add like one more class in there, just one class that can change it up a little bit, then I could add a Post-it note and say, oh yeah, you have to be here. Or, it's easier to remember once you have that routine established. Tweaking a little bit is easier to remember. So that's just for me, but I'm old. For some of you who might be younger or have, sharper minds, it might be a little bit easier. But for me, I have to write it all down, and I have to provide systems for myself in order to provide just calmness and peace in my life. So I hope this helps for you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I can answer them. And if anyone else has any tricks or tips they want to provide, I would love to see them in the comments also. And I think that's it. So this is just a good way to save yourself, help you to be stable as an ESL teacher in this economy. I know it is nice to just have one company to work for, but if you feel that it's necessary to have more, well, there's more than one way to build up your schedule. So thanks for listening, everyone, and please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.